Hi everyone, my name is Felicia Brown, and I am going to tell you about um, my three most meaningful moments. I, I have so many, but I'll tell you about these. All right, so the first one is becoming a mom. That was probably, that is the top most meaningful moment in my life. For so many reasons, I became a mom when I was 15 years old. I was a sophomore in high school. Could you imagine? One week I was on the baseball team. I was flute, playing the flute, and doing all of these things in high school. And that month, and next thing you know, boom, here we go. Let the journey begin. The journey began, but it just didn't begin there. 2 years later, I was pregnant again. So by age 17, I had two kids. My kids and I were raising each other. Um, I remember getting on the school van. Van used to come and get. I was in this program, and the van used to come and get myself and my two boys and their dad. All four of us was going to school. The kids got dropped off at daycare, and we were getting dropped off at high school. Um, in that, I learned so much about me. I already knew, using the word resilient, I already knew I was a resilient person because of things that has happened in my life up until that point. I knew, I kind of thought I knew who I was, but I was not prepared for parenthood. Let me tell you, I didn't know how to wash clothes. I didn't know how to do anything, and I had to learn. Shout out to Good Beginnings because without you, I probably would not have done it. So yeah, that was it. That was the first, was being a teen mom and raising two boys as a teenager. My next, I have to say, is getting married. So this was getting married to my high school sweetheart, and we were already living together because we had two kids and this and that and this and that. And um, I was raised um, in the church, so I always wanted to be a wife. I wanted to be married. That was not something that I ever wanted to have kids out of wedlock and whatever, but I did. But I always was like, I want to. So I went through this phase, and my husband and I, at the time, my boyfriend, we were living together, and I'm like, you know what? I am not going to be your girlfriend for the rest of my life. And he was like, I'm like, no, you're not going to marry me. We are going to separate rooms. And by this time, we had three kids. Three kids. And we slept in separate rooms. I'm like, I'm not forcing you to marry me, but we're going to do the right thing until you decide. So if you say you're going to marry me, so that's kind of how. So I think that was one of the most meaningful moments of my life because um, that was one time in my life, and probably my first time, I stood on exactly what I meant. I stood on it. I stood on that for the betterment of myself, my kids, and also my husband. So I think that was super meaningful. We did get married. We ended up getting married at the courthouse. They like, yeah, forget this. We just, I know I want to marry. We know we want to be together. So um, this year made 37 years that we've been together. So the last meaningful moments, I am in it right now, and that is moving to Arizona, being accepted into ASU, and getting my bachelor's degree. I only have my associate's degree. I had to work and all of those things, being a young mom and, you know, trying to see where things fit. I had to work. My husband had to work. So I was able to get my associate's degree in 2010. But I said that to say that this right here is probably one of my most meaningful moments, and that is being able to complete and get my bachelor's degree.